Welcome to a special episode of the Get With It podcast. I'm your guest host, Daniel Greenlee. Most of you should know at this point your traditional host, Elizabeth Tolia.
Yes, that's me.
That's you?
That's me.
All right. So we're switching up things a bit today. Elizabeth is going to be my guest, and I'm going to be the guest host for today. Or I suppose just the host for the day. This episode is going to be a little different. I'm going to bring my own approach to it as an interviewer. So get ready for something a little crazy, a little different.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're excited.
I'm not excited about this. But
Oh, come on.
Nobody wants to hear about me.
So funny you would say that. The reason I'm here today as your guest host is because Elizabeth asked me a couple months ago to come on her show as a guest. And I said, I will come on your show, but under one condition. And she said, sure, what's that condition? And I said, that you're the guest.
Ugh.
No one wants to hear from another white guy talking about what it's like to be a woman in IT. How about we hear from a woman in IT today? Does that sound exciting? So,
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, how is it with the stage turn a bit here?
I don't like it.
Yeah? Okay, I'll go easy on you, I promise.
Right. Yeah, you sent me, like, anybody who knows me and knows this podcast knows I don't prepare at all. And you sent me how many bullet points?
About 10 or so.
Oh, my God. I'm sweating.
That's just the bright lights.
Okay.
I promise I'll go easy on you.
All right.
Well, I know you didn't like the name an interesting fact about yourself question, so let me hit you with something different. What is in the trunk of your car right now?
The trunk of my car?
Mm-hmm.
I have a bleacher reclining seat. I have a blanket, a case of bottled water, and a rocking chair that you use at sporting events.
Nice. I take it you spend a lot of time with the kids at sporting events.
Yes.
And a volleyball and Chris's soccer now?
Soccer and basketball.
Wow.
But I have this really fancy... Here, Darren, you should look into this. It's I like to sell Darren things on Amazon. It's this recliner seat, and it's got arms, and it's like really padded when you go into bleachers and stuff, and you can recline back, and it's so nice, especially for a 14-hour volleyball tournament. You can get that on Amazon.
Yeah, I just can't imagine a 14-hour volleyball tournament.
It's a lot of fun.
That's one word.
Okay.
All right, here's another random question. I like people to get to know you a little better. If we were to come to your hometown and you were to show us one thing in your hometown, what would you show us? What is your hometown?
I'm from Michigan.
Michigan's a state.
I know. Flushing, Michigan. So when I was growing up, it was a village. So there's really not much there.
What are you guys famous for in Flushing?
Nothing. There's nothing. It's a village.
Okay.
We had an A&W. That was like the big hangout joint place was the A&W.
Weren't you pretty close to, what's that Christmas store called up there? I've forgotten.
No, Frankenmuth?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
No.
I mean, yes, but no. I mean, Frankenmuth is maybe a 25, 30, 40-minute drive.
Okay.
I know. You like that place, Frankenmuth.
I do.
You do because they have chicken dinner.
Winter chicken dinner.
The famous chicken dinner.
That's really good.
All you can eat chicken dinner.
See, they tell you that, and then by the time you get to the chicken, you've had like 15 other things. You can barely eat a piece.
Well, but Frankenmuth is a pretty famous, well-known area for the Christmas store and the Zenders. Yes. But my family is from the UP, so I'm a Uper girl. And as I've been noted many times, people can hear it in my voice.
UP?
Yes. We're Upers.
It's a growing up.
Oh, God.
Who were your biggest influencers? What made you Elizabeth Tolia that we know today?
Oh, shit.
Might want to edit that one out.
I don't know. Shockingly enough, which is probably going to shock a lot of people, I was pretty quiet, kept to myself in high school. I was athletic. I played sports. I raced. I downhill skied. I started when I was 8, and I traveled the state, and that's what I did. And I was National Honor Society. I was a good kid. I went to a Catholic school. Then I got to college. That's where I found myself.
Came out from under that rock.
Yes, I was very, very quiet in high school.
Yeah.
I was an athlete. I just kept to myself. I got good grades. I kept to myself.
Didn't start causing trouble till college?
College, I just really, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's the most trouble you ever got in college.
Yeah, I don't know. I did a lot of drinking in college. That's all I'm going to say.
That's probably enough. So let's talk about after college.
Okay.
You graduated from college. Your degree was in...
Okay, so back it up. I have 3 degrees. I have a architecture technology degree. I have a business degree from Michigan State, and I have my teaching license from Otterbein. So I have 3 degrees.
I just can't picture you as a teacher.
I'd be a kick-ass teacher, I think. High school. It was high school.
You can't even say you'd be a great teacher without using an obscenity.
So
Really tells me you get in trouble pretty quick.
I would be a lot of fun. High school, 7th through 12th, integrated social studies. That's my specialty.
Nice.
Yes.
So you graduated college with 3 degrees, because even though you were getting in trouble every day, somehow you found the time to get
I
3
graduated
degrees.
with really good grades too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is that so shocking?
Most people who are busy partying don't have time to get 3 degrees with good grades.
You got time management.
Apparently.
You got to plan it out. So I got 2, and then I went back for my teaching degree.
Oh, okay.
So that was later in my life.
Did you ever teach?
No, because I couldn't get a job because it's a hard thing in the Midwest. So for me, I would have had to have moved to the South.
Ah.
And then you would have never met me. Might have worked out better for you.
I don't think so.
Yes.
So you graduate with 2 degrees. You go back for a 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about early your career. Like business, you got, what was it? Something technical design?
Architecture technology.
Architecture technology.
So, in high school, I took drafting classes, and I really enjoyed it. So, my dad suggested maybe I go into that career. But I come from an Irish family who owned an Irish pub. So, growing up, it was not uncommon for me to be slinging Guinnesses and harp at night because the family worked there.
Right.
And so I worked there. I started washing dishes, and that only lasted a day. I broke the dishwasher the first day, so my dad said, "You're done." So that only lasted a day. But I kind of worked through high school also, and I got my architecture technology degree, and I thought, I don't know if I could sit at a computer, ironically enough, all day long. So I had a hard time with that because my personality was coming out. So when I went to Michigan State and I got my business degree, I specialized in hospitality business because my parents owned a bar, and my dad shooed me in that way with the pretense of, you're very good at what you do, because I was serving and bartending, you should go into this career. So I was influenced that way.
Interesting.
Does that answer your question?
So you came out of college, you got a job with Bravo, was it?
So they hired me while I was still in college. I hadn't graduated yet. And they offered me a job here in Columbus in 2000 for a management position. And it was at the time BDI, Bravo Development Incorporated. It's not that anymore.
Okay.
I don't even know what it is now, to be honest. So I worked at the Crosswoods,
No.
one that's closed now, which was really sad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that closing. Yeah.
They closed. And so I worked there. I became a manager. And then I went to Brio in Easton and became the AGM. And yeah.
So you work at Bravo for what, 8 years?
Yes.
Come out of Bravo and you go to OSU.
Yes.
And what was your role at OSU?
I was almost at OSU for almost 10 years. So I started as the banquet manager at OSU at the Blackwell Inn. People are going to listen to this and be like, what the hell? This has nothing to do with IT.
It has everything to do with IT.
So I worked there for a couple years,
Okay.
2-3 years. I got promoted to the director of operations over at the Fawcett Centers. So I moved to the Fawcett Center, which is the athletic building on campus. And I was the food and beverage director, director of operations, whatever there.
All right. So you've got, let's just say, a couple years in food service, event management.
At that point, I had over 25.
Like I said, a couple years. I mean, obviously you started when you were 2 years old, and that's why you have 25 years.
That's no, but okay.
But going down this route, so you're the director of operations for the Fawcett Center,
Okay.
and then you're in IT the next day.
It's not quite how it happened, but okay.
Well, okay, so tell us how it happened.
So there was this conference called Columbus Women in Tech, and the organization was founded by Dan Greenleaf.
Just say Mr. Anonymous.
And I made a connection with Angela Lopez, and Dan Greenleaf. And I believe they took me under their wing and introduced me to all sorts of new adventures in the IT world. I got very active in the community. I networked, went to meetups. I got my scrum.org certification. And a year to the day of that conference, I was offered my first IT job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just decided you were going to come into IT and made it happen?
Would we say that?
This is your interview. You
Oh
tell
my
me.
God.
A little different when the tables are turned,
I
isn't
know,
it?
I don't like this. Yes, I took a risk and I took a leap, and I knew I was good at the job that I was doing, but it wasn't fulfilling.
So tell me a little bit about, I want to dig in just a little bit more on what it took to actually make that jump. So did I just call you up one day and say, hey, how about you come work over here? Was it that simple?
No.
Tell
It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah, what went into that? How did you make that happen, make that possible?
So I had a full-time job. I still do have 2 kids and a husband. And so I had to manage my time. I had to put myself out there. I went to a lot of meetups. I read a lot. I did a lot of research. I got really active in the community. I got really active with Columbus Women in Tech, which is Get With It now.
But tell our viewers a little bit, when you say you got active in the community, what did you do?
I joined you and Jim on Agile Lunchbox. So that was a meetup that we did during lunchtime. once a month. So Dan Greenleaf made me reach out to people I'd never met before or knew to get Agile Lunchbox sponsored and locations, lunch provided, that kind of thing. And after about the third month, I just told Dan to go away. I'd take it from here on out. So I think that's how it went, right?
Well, you tell me. This is your story.
So I did Agile Lunchbox. I had a meetup group, a user group, Agile and Drinks. That was great.
I forgot about that one. That was a fun one.
That was a fun one.
Need to resurrect that one.
I know, I should. That was a great user group.
So for the course of a year, I guess what I'm trying to get at is you were out in the community, finding space for user groups, connecting with speakers.
I volunteered.
Volunteering at various events, running, literally running the Lunchbox user group, spinning up your own little Agile and Drinks.
Yep.
It was hard work.
It was very hard work.
And then what happened? What came next?
Well, I got my job.
Yeah, what was your job?
Okay.
What was your first IT job?
My first IT job was a Scrum Master, a junior Scrum Master nonetheless, for ICC.
Yeah.
And I was out at the Gap. And Dan was out at the Gap too. And he vouched for me. And before you know it, I took Dan's job.
Truth be told, folks, I couldn't do the job, so I found somebody who could.
Not true.
But where are you at now? I mean, let's talk about what your job is today. So you've been in IT all of, 18 months now? 20 months?
So let's see. Yeah, about that, right? It'll be 2 years in October.
Yep.
Right? So I was with ICC for almost a year, and almost to the day of the Get With It conference, I was offered the Agile Practice Lead position at Expeed Software, and that's where I am now.
Wow.
Yes. I also play the role of Senior Scrum Master, Senior Project Manager. Lots of roles.
Well,
We're
small company, wear many hats, right?
Yes, we're small. So,
what does an average day look like for the Agile Practice Lead at Expeed Software?
do you want? I wear many hats. So, multiple projects, multiple. Just multiple projects, multiple decisions have to be made. I have to always carve out time for Agile coaching. I have a client in Kentucky that I coach 10 to 15 hours a week. I travel to Kentucky or I do it remotely. So, yeah. It's not uncommon for me to have to put a table together or a chair because we're so small. So sometimes I get out my belt, my tool belt, and do what you got to do.
Or to the Agile tool belt. You're talking about the actual tool belt.
I was talking about the actual tool belt.
Wow.
That chair you're sitting on has been probably put together by somebody. Not me, but so if it falls apart.
No, don't blame you.
Don't blame me.
I will anyways.
So, yeah. There's no day that's the same. How's that? Yes, there's no day that's the same.
So tell me about, now that you're in IT, what's something that surprised you coming in? Like,
Dan needs to loosen up, doesn't he? He's like real formal.
Can you edit that out too?
No, he can't edit any of it out. Okay. What interests me about IT?
No, what was something that surprised you? Like, coming into IT 18 months ago, you had a whole different idea of what it was to be in IT. What what surprised you most about this job, about this career path?
I could do it.
Really? What did that?
So, the skill sets that I have through my whole business life translated very easily over to the position I'm in now because of my work experience. I had to organize, director of operations over at athletic building. You had multiple events going on, multiple things happening. It was all organizing, being on top of things. My personality helps a little bit with that. Just the transition. You think that it's all like technical IT talk, and I've learned a lot of IT talk. Yeah, my infrastructure team out the Gap, I love them. They taught me lots. But yeah, you learn as you go, but a lot of it, you don't need to know how to code.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that answered your question.
So tell me about, now that you've been in for a little bit, what do you not like about being in IT?
Oh, huh.
What do you miss from your previous work life?
I don't like this interview. Gosh, I don't know. That's a hard question. I should have probably read these questions beforehand.
Well, the questions are greatly researched, folks. The answers are not.
Yeah. So,
you can pass if you don't like that one.
I don't think I would never go back to the life that I had. I will say that you and Angie and Get With It have changed my life tremendously, and in a positive way. And I would never go back.
So let's talk about some of the things you love about it.
That was a compliment. He didn't even say
well, thank you. Try not to make the interview about me. We're been a little too involved in your career to not, I guess, for the last
That's true.
couple of years. But tell me about what you love about being in IT. What makes this the career that you will never go back to your old one from?
Believe me, I've had my bad days.
Sure.
Everybody does.
I don't.
He's lying.
I would never.
What?
Doesn't be one thing, but what are some of the things you love about being in IT?
I learn every day. I've learned something new every day. As far as a technical standpoint, I've also learned that I'm good at something else. I thoroughly enjoy my coaching gig that I have with my client. I had a 4-hour sprint planning meeting today, and people will say, ooh, 4 hours. And I was like, oh, no, it was so exhilarating. It was so much fun. But meeting people, the IT community is so supportive. And just even though everybody's a competitor, everybody's a supporter of each other. And it's just a different way of working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm bringing value, not always, but I feel like I bring value to a client that, yes, in my past life I did too, in a different way, but this is a continuous value. Damn, I'm nailing this,
You
aren't
are
I?
nailing this. I'll give you the job. You're doing a great job. So, if there was a woman out there who was interested in joining the IT, whatever the role,
Oh, boy.
but she was in a situation where, I don't know, she was managing an event center or working in a restaurant. Or
I've had this conversation with people.
Great. Or whatever job she's doing today. Let's just say she's not in technology.
Okay.
And she was asking you about technology and what you thought of it and whether you thought she should move in that direction. Was it a good career path? What would you tell her?
Yes.
Yes? Well, tell me a little bit more about some of the conversations you've had. How about we go that route?
Okay. So I don't know if you remember, but we had a conversation. We were up in Cleveland, and we had a conversation with a young lady at a bar. Do you remember this?
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe. Tell me a little more.
We were there to do a site visit for the speaker dinner for the Cleveland conference.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We were sitting at the bar and we got talking, and I don't know, I think you got up or whatnot. And she said to me, I'm not smart enough to be in IT. Or I'm not smart enough. I'm not a smart enough person to be in IT. And I said, what are you talking about? You have the personality, you have the skill set already, because she worked in, and this is going to be shocking to a lot of people, but the food and beverage industry is a lot about organizing your time and your work, because you have multiple tables. So it's like multiple projects, and you turn those projects over multiple times during the night.
Always with a smile.
Always with a smile. So she already had those skill sets of project management or Scrum Master or BA, anything that would take her down a career path in IT. And when I explained it to her that way, there was like a light bulb went off almost. Now, I don't know if she got into IT, but we really highly encouraged her to do that, because organizing the work is what you're managing. You're not managing the people. So if you can organize the work and keep in mind delivering value and time frames and everything else, us women do that well. we're good multitaskers.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have a successful IT journey. And it doesn't have to be coding.
You don't have to know how to code to be in IT?
No.
Thank goodness.
I just
Thought
met
they'd find out.
with the CIO, who outright admitted to me that she did not know how to code, nor did she ever want to.
Wow.
Yes.
So
that wasn't me, by the way.
So have you learned anything about coding over the years?
I have, because I'm the type of person that is never just satisfied with not knowing something. So I taught myself a little Java, .NET kind of stuff. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but I learned about tags and hello world and all those kind of things.
If you can write hello world, you're a developer, right?
So, yeah.
Cool.
But that's about it. I would not be applying for any code jobs at all. But I learned all sorts of things like firewalls and network, and all my boys out at the Gap.
Boys in the hood.
Yes, they taught me all sorts of things.
Yeah. Most of them we can't repeat on this show.
That is
It's
true.
a family show.
That's true. This is not a family show, by the way. So, but
So we've got a mission at Get With It, right?
we do.
What is our mission?
Oh God, our mission is me.
You're okay. So I'll help you out on this.
Yeah, because
So we have a threefold mission. One is to get more women into IT. One is to keep the women who are in IT from leaving. Or that doesn't sound as smooth as I hoped, but we want to reduce the amount of attrition of women who are leaving IT. And
Right.
the third is to help those who are in IT grow into leadership roles.
if they want,
If they want.
correct.
Not do like with you where we just tell you you're a leader now.
No.
No? All right. So coming back to that, what would you tell our viewers, our listeners, what can they do to help with the Get With It mission?
How can they, define who's the audience? Like, are we saying everybody?
So all of your listeners, let's just say the ones who are working in IT today.
Okay.
What can we ask them to do to help get more women like you to make that jump from being a waitress to being a scrum master?
Okay, so being an ambassador through Get With It is a big one. We don't have enough people out on the front line, so to speak, talking about the opportunities that are out there for women or men in the IT world. If it was somebody that's already in the IT industry, supporting and promoting things like Get With It from a leadership, if you're in that leadership role, making the Get With It conference accessible, going and supporting it, supporting it outside of just that day that we have our conference. If you're a developer, I would say use your voice, because your leadership doesn't know what path you want to take. So you almost have to decide it for yourself. Nobody will decide it for you. And that's kind of, yeah. Like, well, you know me. I said I wanted to do a Get With It podcast. I did it. Well, Darren did it. But I mean, like, so I guess we all have dreams of what we want to do or goals. But if you don't follow through, like you're kind of a procrastinator. I'm just going to tell you that.
Guilty as charged.
He is. And so I'm like, go do it. What's the worst that happens? Mm-hmm. Neither one of us is going to die, right? We don't build bombs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sometimes you just take the leap of faith. Yep. That probably didn't answer your question.
Well, I think you gave some solid advice to our listeners, right?
Okay.
If they want to make a difference. I think a lot of people do. Just don't think they know how.
Correct. And a lot of it is as easy as just your voice.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, Facebook, social media is huge. Sharing posts, connecting, networking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I think a lot of our listeners, well, let's just assume most of the folks listening to your podcast are in IT. We know that IT happens to be male-dominated.
It is male-dominated.
Yeah.
It's like a football team.
Not sure what that means, but let's explore that a little bit. So coming into IT as a woman, do you think your experience is different?
As an outsider?
Any woman coming into IT.
Yes.
So I want to explore some of those things with you that are different experiences women have in IT that a lot of men might miss. Do you have any funny stories or random things that, as a woman coming into IT, you could tell it just wasn't designed for you?
Do I? You're putting me on the spot here. Well, you have one.
I do.
You do.
Why don't you tell one? You're the guest today.
I know.
Well, how do you think that experience as a woman in IT is different than being a man? Nothing earth-shattering, nothing world-changing, but what are some of the little things we don't even think about?
We had this discussion. Shoes.
So tell me about shoes.
So women normally normally wear heels of some sort and have to consciously, as they walk, make sure they don't break ankles in shoes. And men don't think about that, right?
I never worry unless I'm, I don't know, hiking a Rocky Mountain or something.
But
weird.
you don't think about, as a man, your counterpart in IT, that she's wearing heels. So when you're busting through and walking quickly, she's not only is she keeping up with the conversation and everything that's got to get done, but in the back of her mind, she's also like, I can't slip and fall. I have to be aware that the surfaces around me.
Well, tell us
as
a little
I'm
about
walking.
surfaces around you. What
We had this discussion.
our listeners
Okay.
haven't heard it.
So I believe you worked at a place where there was some perhaps shag carpeting, shag rug, and somebody came in for an interview
Yeah.
and they had to scoot around the shag rug because they could not walk through it with heels on. And that seems like a man created that, but whatever.
But that's my story, but let's hear some of your stories.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
Has anyone ever made fun of you for your mouse?
Oh my God. So, yes, I got made fun of because the mouse that I chose to use at work was little, because I'm a female with little hands. And the help desk people would come down and make fun of my little mouse. Yes, I've been fun of by my little mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was smaller because I'm smaller. I don't need a ginormous mouse. I didn't think twice about it, but yet they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it comfortable for you?
For my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved my mouse.
Do you think it was comfortable for them?
Oh, they had a great time making fun of me. It was a good time.
Yeah, ask you just a random question here. Obviously, we've had this discussion before, but where are the coffee cups kept here at Expeed?
Oh my God. Well, now they're kept down low
And why is that?
because we have some smaller statured people. And so when you work in an office and the damn coffee cups are on the highest shelf possible, and you literally have to crawl up onto the counter to grab them. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Or, this is just my complaint, when you don't fill the Keurig water up, and it's always seems to be my job. It's like the mom. I've been called mom multiple times in my position here. Yes.
You're the Expeed mom.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. So,
Let's talk a little bit about being a mom.
I'm shocked you haven't asked me about attire.
Attire?
That's like a big thing.
Tell me about the tire.
So, women,
Oh, attire. I got you.
attire. Women, from the moment that they're interviewed to the last day they work at a place, are always judged on what they're wearing, no matter what it is.
Yeah?
No matter what it is.
People comment to you on what you wear sometimes?
All the time.
Yeah?
All the time. Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
that's-
is that shocking? Like, I get it. Dudes don't care what other dudes wear. I've been in situations where, right? Darren's shaking his head like, I could care less what you have on. But, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I only get comments when I wear a pink shirt. That's the
Well,
only
because
time.
people are making fun of you. Just telling you flat out what it is. But, yes. That's why. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about being a mom.
Oh, God. Okay. Is that question on here? I didn't see it.
It's not all. I didn't send you
Oh.
all the questions. It was a
Okay.
guideline.
It was a guideline
Yeah.
with like 20 bullet points. All right. Go ahead. Mom. Yes, I'm a mom of 2. Are we talking about my real children? Or,
Do you have some fake children?
well,
I
I do travel, and I do have travel companions that I have to always make sure. So,
their beds are made and they're
no,
fed.
just like things are, speak of the devil, there's my mom. No, like,
Nice to call your mom the devil.
no. So, okay, my children.
Yeah, your real regular biological children, Anna and Christopher, right?
Anna and Christopher. Yes, 12 and a half and 7 and a half.
So would you say at home you do more you spend more time with the kids and you invest more in the house than your husband?
Do I do more with the kids than the house? Or
The kids in the house
the kids in the house than the husband.
versus your husband. So I guess what I'm driving at is, do you feel like you have bigger commitments at home than your husband does? Because you both work full-time jobs,
We
right?
both work full-time jobs. Yes. Yes. I have 2 very active children. My daughter plays volleyball year-round. She's in the band. She is very active. Christopher plays basketball and soccer. Soccer 2 seasons, fall and spring. Basketball winter.
Goodness.
Yes.
It's always sports ball season of some form.
It really is. Both my kids go to camps in the summer.
So tell me about, obviously you're in IT and you're a woman in IT with Get Witted, so you talk to a lot of other women in IT.
Yes.
Do you find that it tends to be women in IT who are working full-time and their spouse is working full-time tend to spend more time managing the household and with the kids and all the other things?
I mean, I think so. I guess.
So how do you juggle that, right? So at the end of the day, 40 hours doesn't cut it oftentimes in our line of work. We know there's work that has to get done, especially in consulting. How do you juggle between having...
I have a call with India at like 11 o'clock at night some weeks. It's painful.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
How do you juggle all that?
So, you're looking for some secret sauce, and I don't have it.
I would love some secret sauce.
I don't have the answer to the secret sauce. It just I have to organize my home exactly like I do my work life. I know what kid needs to be where at what time for what, and yeah, I probably have to tell my husband 20 times, hey, don't forget. But yeah, I pretty much have to organize like that, like I do at work.
So tell me a little bit about getting away from the domestic responsibilities, getting back to the IT world that we
I clean the
work in.
bathrooms just like everybody else too.
Tell me a little bit about what are some of your secrets to success. I think in 18 months going from a junior scrub master to a agile practice lead is meteoric, to say the least.
Wow. Secrets to my success, huh? I would say I was very blessed to have 25 plus years in the hospitality industry, which caused me to be able to multitask and look at things from a bigger vision and take that vision and be able to break it down into successful tasks and organize them and move forward, I would say.
So now that you're a coach, What are some of the things you think most of us would benefit from doing or changing, or what are you seeing as a coach?
It's a culture change. So, the middle tier of your workers are all for change, delivering continuous value, behind successful sprints, if you want to say. It's the upper management that isn't quite there to support them. And I mostly hear frustration of we don't have the support. So I would say that. But it's a culture change, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I will say today was a very successful sprint planning, though, so I felt really good about myself. I didn't do anything.
That's the nice thing about being a coach. You really don't have to do anything, right?
I just coached them, so, but yes.
We're good on time, Darren.
Yeah, he'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
He'll do the...
Sorry, folks. I'm a guest host. I'm not an experienced host.
Oh, my God. He'll do the... What, are you running out of things?
Oh, I can keep going all day.
Oh, my God. Really?
Let's make it more fun.
What day is this going to be posted? Let me look. Darren, you told me. June, right? So, Dan, we have June 10th. We have the Get With It the Girl Con in 2 days.
Yeah.
So, this is it. Girl Con 2019, June 12th. This gets released June 10th. We're full and swinging into the Fawcett Center this week.
So let me get this straight. There's this organization called Get With It that
you founded
provides events for women in technology, and you just decided to run off and do a girl conference because you didn't have enough on your plate?
Listen, I don't want to talk about it. So I don't know if you remember, but we had this youth track that we did in September last year, 2018.
Yeah, tell me about that.
And it was so successful that we had people reach out and tell us that they asked us if we were going to host a youth conference in 2019. And because I love piling mashed potatoes on my plate of already full, I said, sure. So here we are. It's going to be great.
Hey, well, you're a certified teacher, right? I mean, obviously we can handle this.
No. Yeah.
Well, how hard can a bunch of girls be? We can handle a bunch of women.
Yeah, right. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders are easy. It's the women that can be more challenging. So, and then you got to plug. You're not doing a very good job hosting and plugging. And then we have September 30th as our Get With It conference.
Yeah, tell us about the theme for the Get With It conference this year.
The new blueprint for leadership. I messed that up. Is that right? The new blueprint for leadership?
That's correct.
That's correct. And that's September 30th. All day, awesome event. And then we will be heading not even a month later to Cleveland to pull off the new blueprint for leadership in Cleveland for their second annual conference.
So Columbus just wasn't big enough for you. You had to go up to Cleveland.
Well, I mean, it's just not me. I mean, you're part of that too. So, yes.
Cool.
Yes. So you got to plug. You got to put in the plugs.
Okay. Thanks for helping me out.
No problem.
Appreciate it. It's my first time being a host on a podcast. Which, by the way, so you got conferences, you got podcasts, full-time job, kids at home. Is there anything you don't do?
I don't. I'd prefer not to clean bathrooms in my house, but I do that too. So.
Well, let's talk about some of the funner side. What are some of the most fun times you've had in IT so far?
Oh, in IT? You weren't there for it, But
Obviously, it was more fun because I wasn't.
I proposed to a team, perhaps. We had a rough sprint that we should go play a game of dodgeball. And you threw the ball at the person that pissed you off the most that sprint. Listen, it didn't happen because it was called workplace violence. So they wouldn't let me do it. But I thought that was a great retro.
Wow, that's a new retro idea. I'm gonna have to put that one in my book.
I'm just saying, it was a rough sprint, and everybody was mad at each other. Buckeye Donuts was not cutting it because normally on the Fridays I would bring in Buckeye Donuts or some sort of donut, and people were just crabby as all hell. And I was like, we should have a game of dodgeball, just beat the shit out of each other. And they were all for it. Wow.
That's a new one on me. Mm-hmm. I have not heard of that retro idea.
I'm just throw it out there. But it was called workplace violence, so they wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, maybe you just got to change the name.
Maybe. They won't let you play it at school anymore either because it promotes violence.
What?
Like, you can't play Red Rover either. Or King of the Mountain. All those things now promote violence within the school system, so you can't play those on the playground. But now that's a great retro. King of the Hill, King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain retro?
Yeah. Knock over some people that, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I've heard of a sailboat retro, and I know how to facilitate one of those.
I'm going to come up with a whole strategy on non-conventional retros and see how far it goes.
I like this King of the Hill. Might have to King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain. Did you play that on the playground?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture turning it into a retro with a little less violence because they discourage that at workplaces.
They
these days.
They do. You can't. It's considered violent now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no one would dare run into you, so you just walk up there and everybody be like, hey, there's the King of the Mountain, you win.
That's true.
So what else do you do for fun? How else do you keep it exciting?
What? At my job?
Let's get with it. What's some of the most fun times you've had to get with it?
Oh, my God. You're referring to my DJ days.
I'm giving you a wide latitude. You go where you want with it.
He's referring to my DJ days. So I could have, maybe 2 years ago, it's been 2 years? 3 years.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That far back.
I might have had too much fun at a conference and took over from the DJ the DJing of the event.
Get up there and spin some records?
I did. I believe there's video somewhere of it. I think.
You neither confirm nor deny.
I don't want it to go public. And so
folks, tune in on June 12th for a special installment, a 30-second video of DJ Tolia rocking out the house.
No, because we don't have a DJ for GirlCon. So I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably paid for it the next day, but the older I get, I can't hang anymore. So that was good. It might have happened again in September.
Seems to be a pattern here.
Just throwing that out there. Whoops. Yes, could have been happening in September too. So
what would you say, being someone who's been in IT for a whole 18 months?
You keep throwing that out there. People are not going to want to hire me ever again if you keep throwing that out there.
I don't think so. I hire you because you're successful. I can hire people with 30 years experience that won't be successful.
That's true. Okay.
But you're rocking it out as you spun up your own little user group, Agile and Drinks, for a bit. You took over Lunchbox at one point. Mm-hmm. You've got Get With It. Mm-hmm. What would you say to all those people out there especially the women, who think, you know what, I'm not senior enough, I don't have enough experience, I'm not ready to run a user group or organize the community or any of that.
Oh, hell, you just wing it.
Yeah?
You just wing it. Take the leap. Who gives a shit? Fail fast. I mean, that's what right? So, like, Darren, we started the podcast, what, in August or September last year? And I would be like, Darren, does it sound all right? Do I sound okay? Is this okay? Now I'm like, whatever. Darren, whatever. You have to be confident, I guess, and do it.
Yeah? What's the worst that's happened so far? What you jump in, what's the worst thing that's happened thus far?
I don't know. The worst thing that's happened? Since what?
Since 3 years ago.
My Agile and drinks wasn't as successful as I was hoping.
Yeah?
Yeah, but that's about it. I mean,
So you get yourself out there, you're ready to fail fast, and you just don't fail?
I failed.
Let's talk about some of those.
Oh, God. See, that's the wrap up. Great. I don't have to
Is
answer.
that like now, or is it like I got
No.
5 minutes?
Last question.
Oh, last question.
Oh, shit.
Give me some warning, Darren.
No, that's the last question.
Oh, his about failing? Oh,
I can't end on that note. Give me a couple more.
what I failed. I don't know. That one's a hard one because I failed.
We'll talk about a failure of yours.
Do you know one off the top of your head? Shit. I don't know. Skip that question. I got to think about it. I'll come back. I got to think about it. Because I don't want to scare anybody off.
Well, I think that's part of it, to realize that the failure isn't that big of a deal, even when you did. You can't even think of it.
I mean, I've failed on meeting delivery dates. But it hasn't been a negative impact because I've been open and honest and transparent with why, how, and what I'm doing to try to fix it. So,
So tell me a little about, what's a lesson you've learned the hard way?
oh my God. Really? Ugh. A lesson I learned the hard way. I might have leaped into something too early and not understood that in the end it could change me. No, don't ask.
I don't think you can throw that out there and not explain a little further there.
I am a strong personality.
Never noticed.
Yep. I'm confident, but not. I mean, I'm not cocky about it. I'm just confident. I believe in myself, and so perhaps I might have bitten off more than I could chew, and then I start to question myself, and then I start to change my behaviors because I'm questioning myself, which is bad because that's not who I am or why I was put in the position I was put in. Does that make sense?
Do you ever fight off imposter syndrome?
All the time. Every day. Are you kidding me? Every day.
You come off as such a confident person. You walk
No.
into a room. I don't think many people realize that about you.
No, you know better than anybody because I will call and be like, Dan, da-da-da-da-da. And just so you know, Dan's my mentor, so he has to put up with my calls, my bullshit. And I will call and be like, I can't do this, da-da-da, pretty regularly. Imposter syndrome is, I have it bad.
So let's move towards wrapping up. Looking back on the last couple years or so.
Okay.
What is something you're proud of? What do you look at as this is what I'm really happy about?
What I'm really happy about?
What are you proud of? What do you look back on?
I made it. I made the leap. I mean, think about it. People sit in careers all the time and are like, well, it's so much work and what if I fail? And I don't. And then they just stay in their rut, right? And I was in that rut and I dove out of it head first, not knowing or expecting my success rate to be the way it has been.
That's awesome.
Is that a good enough answer?
You made the leap, like you said.
I did. I made the leap.
You decided you weren't happy with what you were doing. And you decided to make a change. How many of us can say we do that?
And then I started this podcast, and now we're working on a book. And, yeah. So maybe I've leaped a little too far.
you can't figure out if you've gone too far until you actually have, and then you fall, right? Then you reel it back in a bit.
If I fall, I'll just get up and try again.
So wrapping it up, bit of advice for your listeners. What do you want to tell them about today? Anything you want. Wide open.
Really? Dan Greenleaf is not going to be a guest host again.
Actually, you know what? Scratch that. What's a question you wish I'd asked you?
A question I wished you asked me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. I didn't want you to ask me any questions, so that's not going to work. I didn't want to do this.
And yet you did.
I did because you made a great point that people don't always know who's the host, I guess, like my background. And
now it's time I learn about you.
Yes, so.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in.
My God, go drink heavily.
Go have a six-pack in our honor.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. And I believe Elizabeth promised she'll have me back in just a couple months to guest host again and ask her more questions.
Oh, my God.
All right, folks. Stay safe out there.
Thank you. Thanks, Darren.